everyone, welcome to our channel Knowledge of Friends. Subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. Today we're going to start with your physics, that has been for class 11th, and that has been your class 3rd, where we had started with unit 1, that has been the physical world. And in physical world we have discussed about the physics which we have to discuss here, and on the same phases about the physics. After that we had discussed about the scope and excitement of the physics as well, and on the same behalf of it, we even though it had done your hypothesis, axioms and models, physics, technology and the societies as well. We had started in the last classes that some physics from their different countries in the world and their major contributions as well. So from there only we have to continue with this. But before starting with this, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go ahead with like, share and subscribe to our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and then you can also enjoy the video as well. So here we go, starting from the name. Then we have your major contribution or discovery, and then of course we have your country of origin. So we go for the same. So the first we have discussed till Niels Bohr in the last classes. If you had not visited, you can go ahead. Now we talk about for other than this, it is being started from C.V. Raman. From C.V. Raman, the major contributions and discovery we have here is inelastic scattering of light by molecules. And C.V. Raman is from India. The country of origin is from India. Talking about another one, and that another physicist is your Louis Victor de Broglie. And the major contributions and discoveries that he had is the wave nature of matter. And that the origin of the country is France. Next we have here is your M.N. Saha. The major contributions and discovery we have thermal ionization. And the country of the origin is India. Now another physicist we have is S.N. Bose. Major origin is quantum statistics. And the country of the origin is India. Another we have another physicist is Wolfgang Pauli. Major contributions and discoveries we have your exclusion principle. And that the country of the origin is Australia. Now I talk about the another physicist is your that has been your Enrico Fermi. From the Enrico Fermi it has been, and major contributions and other discovery we have is your controlled nuclear fission. The country of the origin we have here is your Italy. Now we talk about for the another physicist, that has been your the Werner Heisenberg. Werner Heisenberg, and the contributions and the discoveries: quantum mechanics, uncertainty principle. Principle that we have. Now the country of the origin we have. So we go for the next, and that has been the for the Werner Heisenberg. The country of the origin we have is your Germany. Now we go for the next as well, and that has been the Paul Dirac. That has been the major contributions and discoveries: relativistic theory of electron, which has been the quantum statistics. The country of the origin we have UK. So relativistic theory of electron, which has been quantum statistics. This from belonging from UK. Now we talk about for the next one, which has been Edwin Hubble. The discovery and the contributions we have is expanding universe. And the country of the origin is USA. That we have. Now the next we have here is so here we go. The next we have for the after Edwin we Hubble, we have Ernst, that is your Orlando Lawrence. And that the contributions and discovery is your cyclotron. The country, the origin we have is USA. Now we talk about for another one, that has been another here is James Chadwick. So for the next we go ahead for this is James Chadwick. That has been the contributions and the discovery we have here is your neutron. And that has been the country of the origin is UK. Now the another one we have here is your Hideki Yukawa. The origin and that is a contribution and the discovery we have theory of nuclear forces. And that the origin of the country is Japan. Now talk about for another one, that has been another physicist as your Homi Jahangir Bhabha. And for that the contribution and this, that is discovery we have is your cascade process of cosmic radiation. And the country of the origin is India. Now talk about for another one, which has been Elio Davidovich Landau. the contribution we have theory of condensed matter, which is liquid helium. Theory of condensed matter, which is liquid helium. And the country of the origin is Russia. Now I talk about for another one, which is being S. Chandrasekhar. That has been the major contributions to discovery we have. Chandrasekhar limit, structures or evaluations of star. Chandrasekhar limit, structure and evolution of stars. The country of the origin is India. Now we talk about for another one, that has been John Bardeen. That the contribution we have transistors, theory of superconductivity. The country of origin is USA. The another we have here is your C.H. Towns, and that is being the major contribution discovery is your maser, which is laser. The country of the origin is USA. So another we have your last physicist is your Abdus Salam. And this that the major contribution discovery is unification of weak and electromagnetic interaction. Unification of weak and electromagnetic interaction, and he is from Pakistan. Okay, so these were the physicists that with their major contributions and discoveries, and of course the countries of their origin as well. That's what we'll have discussed. That are physical laws that we shall not discuss for the nature of the matter, and that forces to the laws that govern the diverse phenomena of the physical world. Now we talk about another one, which has been in terms of here, which has been about the fundamental forces in nature that we have to discuss here. We go for the same. Discussed here, that has been fundamental forces in nature. In the fundamentals forces or in nature here, we all have an intuitive notions of forces in our experiences. Forces is needed to push, carry, or throw objects, deform or break them. We also experience the impact of forces on us, like when a moving object hits us, or we are in that is your merry-go-round. Then going from this initiative notions to the proper scientific concepts of forces is not a trivial matter, and that early thinkers, that Aristotle that had which has been the ideas about it, and for the same, that the correct notion of the forces that are arrived at by Isaac Newton in its famous laws of motion, and he also gave an explicit form of the forces for the forces of gravity, for gravitational attraction between the two bodies. We shall learn all these matters in our subsequent chapters as well. In a microscopic world, that beside the gravitational forces, we encounter the several kind of forces, which has been the muscular forces, contact forces between bodies, friction forces, which is also been a contact form parallel to the surfaces in contact, and the forces that exerted by the compressed or elongated springs, and springs and taut strings and ropes, which has been the intention, and that the force of buoyancy and viscous forces when solids are in contact with fluid, with the forces that due to the pressures of a liquid, that the force due to the force of extensions of the liquid, and so on. There are also forces involving the charged and magnetic bodies. In microscopic domain, again, we have an electric and magnetic forces, nuclear forces involving the protons and neutrons, and interatomic and intermolecular forces, etc. We shall get familiar with some of these forces in later parts of these courses as well. So for the same here, that a great insight of that 20th century physics is that these different forces occurring in a different context actually, that arise from only the small numbers of fundamental forces in nature. And for example, the elastic spring forces that arise due to the net attraction propulsion between the neighboring atom of the spring when the spring is elongated or compressed. This net attraction and repulsion that can be traced to the unbalanced sum of electric forces between the charge constituents of the atom as well. In principle, this means that the laws of derived forces such as the spring forces, frictions, and that are independent of the laws of fundamental forces in nature, so that the origin of these derived forces is however very complex. So now we discuss about a table that has been about the link between the technology and physics, and for that same we'll go ahead here in the detail about it. So the links between technology and physics. Between technology and physics. So we'll discuss about the technology here, and here on the same phase we have to discuss about the scientific principles. Okay, so first we go for the one by one only, and that we'll discuss here. So first technology we have here as being the steam engine. And the scientific principle is laws of thermodynamics. Now we talk for the another one, which is being the technology is nuclear reactor. And the scientific principle is controlled nuclear fission. Now for the another one we talk about it, that has been the another one, and that has been the third one is your radio and television. Radio and television, and that has been the scientific which we have scientific principles here, which has been the generation, propagations, and detections of electromagnetic waves. So we go for the same: generation, propagation, and detection of electromagnetic waves that we have. Now we talk about the another one, which has been computers. So for computer it is your digital logic. Now for another one it is your laser, which has been the light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Another is your production of ultra high magnetic field. Production of ultra high magnetic field. So that is, we have your superconductivity. Next we have here is rocket propulsion. And that has been the scientific principle we have is your Newton laws of motion. Next we talk about for electric generator. And for that as well, it has been the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction that we discussed here. Now if we go further, and that has been another one is your hydroelectric power. For hydroelectric power, it is the conversion of gravitational potential energy into electrical energy. Into electrical energy. Now we talk for the next is your about the aeroplane. For aeroplane, it has been your Bernoulli's principle in fluid dynamics. Bernoulli's principle in fluid dynamics. Now for the next we talk about as being particle accelerators. For particle accelerator, it has been the motion of charged particle in electromagnetic field. Motion of charged particles in electromagnetic fields that we have. For next we talk about it has been for another one is for sonar. And for sonar, it has been a reflection of ultrasonic wave. Reflection of ultrasonic waves. Now the next is your optical fiber. For optical fiber, it is your total internal reflection of light. Total internal reflection of light. Now we talk for the next is your non-reflecting coating. For that, it is thin film optical interference. Thin film optical interference. Now the further we talk about it has been about the another one, which is your electron microscope. electron microscope, it is wave nature of electrons. The another we have is your photocell. For photocell, it is your photoelectric effect. The another we have is your fusion test reactor. And that is for we have that is being named as tokamak, which is magnetic confinement of plasma. The another one which we have is your that is giant meter wave radio telescope, which is GMRT. Giant meter wave radio telescope, which is being GMRT. And for the same, it has been the detection of cosmic radio waves, detection of cosmic radio waves. The another and the last one is your Bose-Einstein condensate. It has been trapping and cooling of atom, trapping and cooling of atoms by laser beam and magnetic fields. Okay, so here that is we have, and as the present stage of our understanding that we know to four fundamental forces in which that has been described here. So all that we'll discuss in the next coming class. So here we gonna end up with this, and other than this physics part 1 for class 11, we had done your sociology and software engineering, even though we had done your chemistry as well for part 1 for class 11 and part 1 for class 12, where we had done unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5, unit 6, unit 7, unit 8, unit 9, and as well as the conversions, logarithms, antilogs as well. After talking about that, we are dealing with ER diagram, we are dealing with English vocabulary, we are dealing with PHP interview questions as well. Even though we had started with quantitative aptitude, in that we had done your we had started with arithmetical ability, in that we had done operations on numbers, SCML numbers, decimal fractions, simplification, square roots and cube roots, problems on numbers, problems on ages, arts and indices, percentage, profit and loss, ratio and proportion, partnership and chain rule. That we'll discuss many more. After talking about that, yes, we had started with CBNST, which has been the computer-based numerical and statistical technique, where we had completed unit 1, unit 2, even though we are in unit 3 here. That has been important for engineering as well. In terms of it, we had done your reasoning, in that we had done verbal reasoning, where in that we had done your general mental ability in the logic reasoning. In non-verbal reasoning, we had done your series analogy, classification, analytical reasoning, mirror image, water image, embedded figure, completions of incomplete pattern, figure matrix, paper folding, paper cutting, rule detection, grouping of identical figures, cubes and dice, or situation, constructions of squares and triangles, figure formation, analysis, and practice question set as well. In terms of it, we had started with part 2 for chemistry as well, which has been the redox reaction we had started with. Coming towards physics, that has been part 1 for class 11th. We are dealing here. Here we had started with chapter 1, which has been the physical world, which is what is physics, a scope and excitements of physics, physics, technology and society, fundamental forces and the nature, that we had even though started with. And after that we'll complete it after completing the nature of the physical laws as well. After completing that, we'll start discussing about chapter 2, which has been the units and measurement. In that we have to cover up introduction, the international systems of unit, measurements of length, measurement of mass, measurement of time, accuracy, precision and instrument, and the errors in measurement, and significant figures, dimensions of physical quantities, dimension formulas and dimension equations, dimension analysis and its application. In unit 3, we have to cover up the motions in that is your stationary line, that a straight line, which is in introduction, positions, path, length, and displacement, average velocity and average speed, then after that the instantaneous velocity and speed, acceleration, kinematics, that has been the equations for the uniformly accelerated motion, or relative velocity as well. In unit 4 we have to cover the motions in a plane, that has been introduction, scalars and vector, multiplications of vectors by a real number, addition and subtraction of vectors, graphical methods, resolutions of vectors, vector addition, analytical method, motions in a plane, motion in a plane with a constant acceleration, relative velocity in the two dimensions, projectile motion, uniform circular motion. In unit 5 they have to cover the laws of motion, that has been the introduction, aristocratic fallacies, the laws of the inertia, Newton's first law of motion, Newton's second laws of motion, Newton's third law of motion, conservations of momentum, equilibrium of the particles, common factors of that forces of mechanics, circular motion, solving problems in mechanics. In unit 6 we have to cover the work, energy and power, which has been introduction, that has been the notions of the work kinetic energy, which has been the work energy theorem, work kinetic energy, work done by a variable forces, the work energy theorem for a variable forces, the concept of potential energy, the conservation of mechanical energy, the potential of the spring, various forms of energy, the laws of conservation of energy, power and collision. Unit 7 is your system and particles and rotational motion, which has been interaction, center of mass, motion of center of mass, linear momentum of the system of particle, vector product of the two vector, angular velocity and the relations of linear velocity, torque and angular momentum, equilibrium, and that has been of a rigid body, moment of inertia, theorem in the perpendicular and a parallel axis, where kinematics of the rotational motions about the fixed axis, dynamic in the rotational motion about the fixed axis, angular momentum in the case of the rotation about the fixed axis, rolling motion as well. After that we have to cover up the unit 8, which is the gravitation, has been introduction, Kepler's law, universal law of gravitation, the gravitation constant, acceleration due to the gravity to the earth, acceleration due to the gravity below, above the surface of the gravitational potential energy, escape speed, earth, that is satellite, and that energy of the orbiting satellite, stationary and the polar satellites, and weightlessness as well. So here we're gonna end up with, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go ahead with like, share and subscribe to our channel, so that many maximum people can get the information at once, and you can also enjoy the video as well. Thank you, hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on the comment box. Thank you.